Have you ever wondered what it would be like if everything we thought we knew about Earth was turned on its head? Imagine waking up one day and discovering the Earth isn't round, like everyone has been telling us, but flat. Totally flat, like a giant pancake floating in space. What would that mean for life as we know it? Could we still walk, travel, or even live the way we do now? Let's take a mind-bending journey into this strange possibility. What if the Earth was flat? So, how did we get here? How did this whole idea of a flat Earth even start? Way before people were flying around the globe or snapping pictures from outer space, ancient civilizations believed the Earth was flat. In fact, people used to think they could sail right off the edge of the world. But science came along, evidence piled up, and the world accepted that the Earth is a round ball. However, not everyone bought into this idea. Even today, there are people who still argue the Earth is flat. But what if they were right? What would change? First off, let's talk about gravity. You know, the thing that keeps you from floating away like a balloon when you jump. Gravity depends on mass, and on a round Earth, it pulls everything toward the center. But if the Earth was flat, gravity would work completely differently. Instead of everything being pulled toward the center of the planet, gravity would try to pull you toward the center of this flat disk. The further away you got from the middle, the more it would feel like you're walking uphill. That means oceans would spill toward the edges, and even simple tasks like pouring a glass of water might become a strange uphill battle. And what about the sun and moon? On a round Earth, the sun rises and sets, giving us day and night. But if the Earth were flat, day and night wouldn't exist as we know them. The sun would have to hover over the flat surface like a spotlight, making some places permanently day and others permanently night. Imagine being stuck in a place where the sun never sets, or worse, never rises. Talk about a sleep problem. Oh, and seasons. Forget about them. Seasons are caused by the tilt of Earth's axis as it orbits the sun. But in a flat Earth scenario, there wouldn't be any tilting, and the concept of seasons might vanish. You could have scorching heat in one part of the world and freezing cold in another, forever. Let's not even get started on travel. With the round Earth, planes fly in arcs to save time and fuel. But on a flat Earth, you'd have to take a whole new route. Imagine getting on a plane and your pilot says, "Well, folks, instead of flying over the North Pole to get to Asia, we're just going to avoid the edges." Yeah, because on a flat Earth, falling off the edge could be a real problem. That's assuming there even is an edge, of course. Some flat Earth theories suggest that the world is surrounded by a giant ice wall, like something out of a fantasy novel. Antarctica might not be a continent, but rather the outer boundary of this flat world. Forget penguins. Antarctica would be like the ultimate no man's land at the edge of existence. Speaking of the edge, if you were an adventurous explorer, would you dare to see what's beyond? What happens if you step off the edge? Is there a giant drop into nothingness? Or maybe some hidden force keeping everything and everyone in place? Maybe it's the place where lost socks from your laundry mysteriously end up. We'll probably never know, but it's fun to think about. Now let's pause for a second. We're going to dive back into this flat Earth adventure in just a moment. But before we continue, if you're enjoying this mind-bending journey, make sure to subscribe to our channel. It helps us create more content like this and keeps you updated on all our latest videos. All right, let's get back to it. So we've tackled gravity, sunlight, seasons, and even the terrifying possibility of an edge, but what would happen to global communication? On a round Earth, satellites orbit the planet, sending signals that give us GPS, TV, and the internet. But on a flat Earth, satellites wouldn't be able to orbit. They'd have to move in a totally different way, or maybe not exist at all. Could you imagine losing GPS? You'd have to rely on paper maps again. And let's be honest, most of us can barely fold those things, let alone use them. Another thing to think about, the atmosphere. On a round Earth, the atmosphere clings to the planet thanks to gravity. But with a flat Earth, keeping the atmosphere in place would be much harder. It could just leak off into space, leaving us without the oxygen we need to breathe. That sounds like a pretty big problem, right? Either we need some kind of invisible dome to keep the air in, or we'd be living in a world where oxygen is constantly slipping away. And let's just say that wouldn't end well. What about mountains? oceans, and other geographical features. They would exist, sure, but they'd look different, and they might not even function the way we expect. Tectonic plates, the thing that causes earthquakes and builds mountains, rely on a spherical Earth. On a flat one? Well, who knows? Maybe mountains would pile up in strange places, and earthquakes would feel like someone flipping the edge of a giant piece of paper. Life would be weird on a flat Earth. Travel would be harder, gravity would be strange, and our skies might never look the same again. But the funny thing is, it makes you think about how cool our round Earth really is. The systems we rely on, the balance of nature, and the fact that we can travel around the world in just a day or two, all of it works because we live on a spherical planet. At the end of the day, though, the Earth isn't flat, it's round, and that's what makes life as we know it possible. Still, it's fun to imagine what things might be like if the world were shaped more like a giant frisbee than a globe. In reality, a flat Earth would come with so many strange and often catastrophic challenges that it's safe to say we're lucky to live on a round planet. And that brings us to the end of this thought experiment. I hope this video got you thinking and maybe even questioning some of the things we take for granted. If you enjoyed this dive into a flat Earth world and want to explore more what-if scenarios, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. There are plenty more mind-bending journeys waiting for you. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.